In today's video, we're going to talk about mindset and responsibility. One of the questions I get asked a lot by artists is, I make great images, why don't I get to charge the same money that other bigger companies charge? Now, I will explain to you the concept of responsibility line and what it means in the field of architectural visualization. This is an exercise that I also do when clients come to me and we do our very first initial consultation before getting into the strategy. And this is to establish whether or not the role that they're trying to achieve will benefit or not their main interests as artists, as well as their career. Often with my clients, we realize that sometimes they are simply not interested in anything which is strategy related. They simply want to make images, which is fine, but then we need to readjust our expectations. Now, we're going to use a very big project for this example. Later on, we will see also how these things translate also for smaller projects. But for now, let's say that for the sake of this argument, that we have an investor that is building a structure that has a value of $1 billion. It is a very expensive building. It's in the center of New York, say 100 apartments with an average price tag of 10 million per apartment. This investor has now the need, or rather the problem, to have to sell this building. The line is long because the process of selling a building requires more actors than one might expect. In order to sell the building, the investor will hire a sale agent. In reality, these two are more often than not the same actor. The developer is often the sale and the real estate agent as well. The sales agent will usually be the one who organizes the sales strategy, which is represented more or less by the entire length of this line. The sales agent, on top of providing established sale channels such as real estate agents, magazines, salesperson, etc. They will also take care of talking to the proper consultant and decide on how to market this property. In one of my next videos, I'll be interviewing a guy that does this specific job, but for now, let's focus on this video. The consultant will usually do a general risk assessment. They will gather information related to the potential buyers. They will help the sales team see if there is any bleeding spot or blind spot, however you want to call it. This activity, again, in our perfect case study, will usually lead to hire a marketing agency. The marketing agency will make the decision based on the client requirements on how to build the image for this building, so to enable the sales team to sell the building through their channels. And by image, I do not mean the renderings. A marketing agency will try and build a story and find a way to target a very specific type of people in the right way. Remember, this is an expensive building located in New York. It will not be a building that can be sold to anybody. So this work, in a way, it's very much needed for the owner of the building to sell their building. The marketing agency will organize the distribution of the marketing material, usually via printed media, as well as TV, radio, if necessary. Although these methods, even though they're still relevant, recent polls show that they are decreasing in popularity. And of course, our dear friend, social media. Now, to do so, they will need to get hold of images, videos, photographs, maybe a VR installation, whatever it is that they decide to go for. And for that, they will contact a visualization studio for the production of the deliverables. Now, in order to activate a sales strategy, the owner of the building will allocate a budget of, say, $1 million. I don't care if it's unrealistic, it is only for the purpose of this example. This budget will be usually distributed more or less this way, with about 85% of the sales budget money being used by the people along this part of the segment, leaving a mere 15%, if you're lucky, for the production of all the deliverables. So at this point, you might be angry at me and say, Fabio, are you saying that our renderings are worthless? Is this why we're here at the bottom of this line? No, make no mistakes. The renderings, as well as the videos, VR, photographs, whatever it is that your client is asking for, they are vital to the process of selling a building. But you need to understand that these deliverables are the result of a decision-making process of which you might have not been a part of. If this is the case, you are a mere executioner of the job. You might be very good, you might be able to use the latest techniques and the latest software and the latest technology, but you're not the one who calls the shots. These guys are. And why is this important to understand? Well, when you are the one who calls the shots, you are the one that takes the responsibilities. You are the one that takes the risk. The bigger the risk, the bigger the economical reward. The closer you get to these guys, the more you can contribute to the decision-making process. The bigger your economical reward will be. If you try to shoot for the stars and work with the bigger guys, say those who develop the $1 billion building, the more difficult it will be for you to penetrate and establish yourself in that segment of the market. The good news is that if you want to grow your V's business into a more complete creative studio, you can do that even with smaller budget clients, those that say they only have enough money to pay for the deliverables. You see, in fact, in case of smaller budget clients, the path to become the one who calls the shot is much shorter, because these guys have just enough money to pay for the renderings. I'm not saying that it's easier, but the step that you have to take, it's much shorter. With the right training and with the right effort on your side, you can transform your firm from a simple biz studio to a mid-size marketing and design agency. You do not necessarily need to become a consultant or a sales agent if that's what you're afraid of or if that's what you don't want. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what about Mir or Beauty and the Beat or Arky9? Those guys are artistic, they're not a marketing agency. That kind of talent and ability is not common. The years of training and the determination that go into being able to produce such work are something that a lot of people think they can get to, but they really often fail at. These guys cater for a very small part of the industry, and that's because they're exceptional. If you're passionate about making great architectural images, and if you have the right base, you can and you should start an archivist business. And your goal should be producing incredible images, but you should not make the mistake to think that this is the end of the road. That is not how you cement value in your professional persona. Your value should grow as your persona grows and you gain more experience. Therefore, your persona will only grow if you're able to produce more value over time. Taking more responsibilities, trying to solve bigger problems for your clients, well, that's one way for you to get there. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Fabio Palvelli.